Hello and welcome to chapter 118 of our streaming adventure. Today is the first event of the first weekend of Eternal Weekend. It's strange to name it Eternal Weekend when there's two weekends. It's Eternal Weekends, starting with Legacy. We have a Friday event, Saturday event, and a Sunday event. And then the following weekend will be Vintage. This week is Legacy. Then it will be Vintage with a early morning Saturday and an afternoon Saturday and then a Sunday event. So, yeah, we are in for 513 people is the cutoff. So we are already at 523 with 12 minutes left to go. So, yeah, 10 rounds of this should be pretty interesting. What I decided is that for consistency's sake, I wanted to play something that had 4 Ponder and 4 Brainstorm. And once I narrowed it down, hey, Grumpy, thanks for stopping by. Once I had it narrowed down to I want to play Ponder and I want to play Preordain, then it was like, well, what else is going to go with it? And I kind of bounced between a couple different ideas. And what I settled on was basically the Snoko shell. And then the other day when we were playing and just the kind of nonsense with Omnath, I'm not necessarily expecting to win these 10 rounds. I mean, hey, I'll take it. I'll take it if they give it to me. But I just thought it's something that'll give me some agency in the games I'm playing. And sometimes it can snowball, and having Sylvan Library with different life gain, I feel like that might be able to help us get ahead of some people. So I think I'm definitely going to be more competitive when it comes to the Vintage side. I think for the Legacy one, I'm willing to be, I don't want to say loosey-goosey, but I said it anyway. I'm not approaching Legacy maybe with the same seriousness that I would Vintage. And normally my focus goes into Vintage, like all the play testing going up to Eternal Weekend with all the guys and stuff like that. And normally it's focus on Vintage. And then if I didn't do well on day one, okay, the next day is Legacy. So it's a little bit different with Legacy having the entire first 3 days before we shift over to Vintage. So that part of it is a little... My approach would likely have been different, but I had the unfortunate drawback of doing too well last time, and so I didn't put any focus into Legacy because I had done too well to be the number 1 seed for Vintage, and so I spent the off day trying to get ready for my top 8 matchup. So I wanted to play something with Karn in it last time. Karn just seemed absurd. I mean, Karn was kind of absurd in Vintage to the point they had to restrict him, so 550 players. I mean, this is definitely going to be... Well, what's weird is kind of the timing of these first ones, and I wonder if maybe they listed the time incorrectly and then just never went back and fixed it. So, for example, we have our 3 flights. Flight number 1 is, 10 minutes away. 10 hours from now is flight number 2 at 3 a.m. my time. But then it's 35 more hours until event number 3. So the first 2 events are only 10 hours apart, and we're going to have 10 rounds, so it's going to run together. And then the next one is like a day and a half away on Sunday afternoon. So I think they maybe messed that up a little bit because they're definitely spread out better for vintage. Let's see if I can. Yeah, just the timing on the events. So 2 p.m. to 12 a.m. Yeah, it's only 10 hours. And then from this, like midnight Saturday to afternoon Sunday is legit 35 hours. So it's just a weird gap in between. But then you come down to vintage and you have 12 a.m., 14 hours later, 2 p.m., and then the following day at 8 a.m., so that's 18 hours apart. So it feels like they are better spaced in the vintage slots versus the legacy slots. And whether that's purposeful, completely random, who knows? But it's definitely interesting. I bring up this Swiss tree all the time, Swiss triangle, and I feel like it's something that I should add as a option to bring up. So that instead of searching it up every time, I'll just be able to bring it up as a quick hyperlink because, well, I mean, I just closed it, so I'll just go ahead and click it then. What's interesting is you can type in 561 people, and it will calculate out that, yeah, currently through our 10 rounds, 2 X and 2s will make the top 8, as well as the prizes go down to, 64? The top half of 7 and 3 people. So it'll be an interesting one for sure tonight. Mm-hmm. 5 minutes left. Close that. I do agree with this comment in our vintage Discord that a lot of people with it moving from paper to online and people maybe not necessarily being used to the interface, a lot of these people are going to be playing for their first time. So, don't run out the clock because you've been beat and a Doomsday player took a 5-minute turn 1, took another 5 minutes and his class ran, try to maybe be a little bit more encouraging, and I will try to do my part as well. So we're down to 4 minutes. I'm seeing like the number go up. 10 rounds. That's 10 rounds is before top 8. It's 10 Swiss rounds. That, at what point is the Dr. Pepper gonna run out of power and I need like a midnight Red Bull run? It'll be something to that effect of, well, he was 7-0 on stream, and then we just saw him pass out and kind of fall asleep in his chair and snore softly into the microphone. I don't know if my snores would be soft. They probably wouldn't be. I have like this nose strip thing that I wear to bed. Cuz like if I'm exhausted, like just completely tired, that's when I snore. But for the most part I don't. But I still wear these like nose strip things for the benefit of everybody in the bedroom. I think, if I were to snore and wake the dogs up, they'd probably get up and move around, and if they move around, they step on me and then wake me back up. So it's for my own benefit. Let's go with that. I'm trying to think. This is more So this will be more like a challenge than the leagues, obviously. So we are going to have a lot of dead air to fill. Probably means we'll do some crossword puzzles. We'll see, maybe we can find some other things that'll be interesting. I For the Switch, we finally downloaded the Mario 35, where it's like you play your Mario level against all the other people on the screen at the same time. But the awkwardness of the controller has definitely messed me up, as well as like the acceleration and slow down. And like sometimes if you jump, you hit a guy, you go higher than say the original Nintendo would have it. So it's almost, probably call it remastered, right? Like Mario remastered. And I guess that's the point of calling it 35. You could argue that in the 35 years it's been needed to be updated. Sorry, I am looking for something to potentially stop me from making the microphone muted all the time. This is probably too small. Yeah. Because it falls down here. Oh, we're going to do this. We're going to go around the back, under the hood. Got to represent the Eternal Weekend. I'm going to use this. I need the power of magic cards, power of Eternal Weekend. Hope everything goes great. And less than a minute, 574 people waiting, 575. They're going to just jump in here as fast as they can. I legitimately did not think the 672 player max was going to be relevant, but maybe that's part of the not only bringing it online, but making it accessible and kind of having our North America, Europe, and our Asia, giving everybody the chance that, I've played in North America, but I never played in Europe, but I can play Europe's time, if I want to. So this should be fun. Hello, good luck to everybody. Unless you're my opponent, then like medium luck. Dr. Pepper is a go. Giddy up. So I am on the draw. I have fetch land, I have some ponders, I have brainstorm, I have force negation, keep. I'm going to type hello and good luck in the chat. We're going to keep. We're going to see how things go. Good luck and have fun. The return. Underground Sea. Ponder. Deal. So my first thought is crack fetch land. Let's get an astrolabe online. Very nice, very nice. Thoughtseize. The fact that I have negation and force of will, I'm letting let it go. My sound seems super low, but it's also awkward being over my shoulder. Took Brainstorm. Could be Bug Delver. Four cards left. I could set up Ponder first. Ponder will let me look deeper. Or I just get this Astrolabe going. Astrolabe is going to allow me to have more variety in my spells. So right now I almost want to keep Polluted Delta around for the purposes of playing around days. All right. All right. So we can give ourselves the chance to have Oko next turn. They're going to brainstorm here. It lets them set up as well as letting them have a better thing. I think I'm willing to fight it. It's not necessarily correct. Found themselves a force negation anyway. Negation in hand, playing a Ponder. They did not shuffle. So they had days. So now the question is, do they have another blue spell to go with this force negation? I think I'm willing to find out. Although we know the top card is the Volcanic, so that's troublesome. They had regular force to pitch the negation. Okay. So we'll take 3. They'll replay their land. Depending on what else they follow with, we draw our volcanic. And potentially, with what we set up there... Tarmogoyf? Okay. And now we only have 1 turn. Sorry. Take that. Gonna 4. I don't. Oko doesn't even, or I should say, Uro doesn't even get us there. Yeah, and fetch land definitely doesn't. Okay. So things that are relevant: swords, Pyroblast, Red Elemental Blast, Carpet of Flowers, type effects, Abrupt Decay. See, I don't know if Dead of Winter is right here, because we're not necessarily going to have... I mean, snow permanents, we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I mean, that might not be big enough to fight some of the stuff. Could get Veil of Summer in. Clothis might be able to whittle away over time, so that might be worthwhile. I think Abrupt Decays are good. Icefying has the chance to jump out and do stuff. I think we want the swords. They're blue base versus red base, so Leovold might be a little bit better. I do wonder if the green sun aspect is a little lacking. And keep some of them. I'm not, when it's creature based, I'm not entirely impressed with the Forces of Negation. I think I want Oko, I think I want Uro. I think I want those. I don't have to bring all of it in either. Gonna be on the play. Need to be mindful of days. Hmm. 30 seconds. A little bit of a smorgasbord there, but I'm willing to try it. Alright, would I like to play first? Yes, I would. Well, the Arbor in hand kind of sucks. Maybe at some point we can brainstorm it back in. I mean, that was kind of right on time, right? Thoughtseize again. Take the Brainstorm. Potentially. Likely the Omnath. Maybe a Green Sun. Depending, I'm assuming Brainstorm gets taken. I want to play Misty, Green Sun for one, getting Noble. Is my thought. Takes the Omnath. Okay. Green Sun for one. Pitching Ponder. So they obviously don't have days. I think I'll let that happen. I think I wait to fight over a better option. Like that could be a reason to fight. Because that can bury me cards. What are my 2-drops? Ice Fang to draw a card. Okay, a little Knight of the Reliquary action. Sure. I have to sacrifice a forest or plains. Is it a trick? Seems like a trick. Okay. took Karakas out. Liliana, the last hope. Okay. Okay. I hope this is going to work in our favor. Abrupt decay the library. Okay. Mm, beat down. Good old night beat downs. Can't stop ponder. Now I wonder if instead of these attacks for 4, if I take 1 turn off attacking for 4 to sack a land into a fetch land, it's +2. So that would be 2 attacks I would gain right back. Potentially worthwhile. Got my swords. Halfway there. Let's see if they just jam something not thinking I drew Force of Will. Alright. Yes, when am I going to run out my commander? It's like I'm not even trying. Alright. So, that one seemed to arrive... Sorry, that one seemed to revolve around little by little. Scavenging Ooze probably is worth it with the Green Sun package. just to force through the final thing. And Uro's probably too good to not be playing. I did draw the force at the right time. But let's just take him out and let's go. We've got our Pyroblasts. We've got Carpet of Flowers to ramp. Let's give it a shot. I mean, the Ice Fang did its job. It's possible they weren't thinking about the Death Touch. I mean, Knight was medium there. Oh. $581 people. Back to our match. Our opponent has mulliganed to 6. What do we have? We have... Whoa, hello. Thank you, Singing Tree. Thank you for the follow. Had my volume a little loud there. All right, so I can't play my turn 1 Green Sun. I can't play my turn 1... Yeah, we have to mulligan 2. This looks way better. This looks way better. So of these, I think I'm actually going to put the Tundra down. Yeah, I'm going to send the Tundra down. Keep these other 6. Pretty even in time. They're going to hit me with that turn 1 Thoughtseize. Nope. Okay. I was going to say, they've done it every other time, so. I'm leading out Misty Rainforest. Misty Rainforest can get Snow-Covered Forest or Tundra if I had to. I think if Delver flipped, I might have been willing to go for it. That's true. They can. They have revealed Force of Negation. I would like to get a Snow-Covered Forest. Oh, I didn't even think about having the surprise... surprise Dryad Arbor when it was small. Okay, so they're wasting Fatal Push when I don't have the mana. I like that. Or I don't have, what do you call it, enabled. So they spent their Fatal Push before they needed to. So then on my turn... I'm going to use this to get a tropical island. play out. Big dum-dum. And then on my opponent's turn, before they have the ability to have hard cast Force Negation, now I'm going to get that Tundra. And fight swords there. That also gives me enough to unearth the Uro, which is my plan. Collector Oof, you got it. One, two, three, four, five. Okay. I think I'll sit back on the ability to have Volcanic for a Pyroblast if I absolutely need it. Otherwise, next turn we can plan to Oko. If they expend on the Force Negation, we can just Pyroblast that back. Alternatively, we can't Green Sun for Leovold, but we can just have Leovold if we got Underground. Abrupt Decay resolves. We have gained a fair amount of life. Okay. We'll make a food. Could Green Sun for 1. I don't think we need to. We could save that. We could cast Sylvan Library, but they might counter that. I'm going to try to start building up the graveyard again. There's no creatures there currently. I don't have the black yet. You gonna attack me? You're gonna attack... I think that's correct. Blue-green. Petty theft. They did wait, so the Force of Negation They didn't spend the force negation. We drew a new Oko anyway. Nice. Is it possible they don't have another blue card? I mean, it's possible. Pitching their own Oko. So they're down to one card. Mm-hmm. Now they're spending resources to go after my Oko. Tarmogoyf. Bayou. Thoughtseize? Could be Thoughtseize. The single black left. They could be eating my food or Fatal Push. Gurmag Angler. Alright. So, still do not have black mana. We could make that into a 3/3. So I'm one resource away from Oko coming back to life and shrinking this Tarmogoyf. But putting the Planeswalker in grew the Tarmogoyf, so that was a mistake. See what they do here. Everything at me. Okay. They could have removal. Guess not. Green, green, blue, blue. This can get an underground. I can't do both though, so. One, two, three, four, five. Okay. One, two. Found a land.